right, we back with the air signs reading. Let's see what's going on. We start with Gemini, work our way to Aquarius, and then we go to Libra. If I still feel like in the energy of pushing out the Earth, then I will. But they roll out. They come as fast as they can. So we're gonna see what's going on with you, Geminis. All right. Let's see what's going on. Damn, Gemini's on some shit. Oh, new moon. What's it? New moon in Gemini. Communication is key. Let me see what else come out. Oh, fiery climaxes approaches. New moon in Aries. I don't know if that's because Mercury energy, Aries. Behold and make the first move because everybody getting it though. They are. Believe in the impossible. That is the blue moon. Doom, 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 doom. Virgo energy. It is a time to give rather than take. Some of y'all may be messing with a Scorpio. Ooh. Because that was in my Scorpio reading. Geminis, we're going to see what this communication is about or getting some sort of understanding. Is it a sense of self? Because you know they got two people on the sense of the card. So it can be you versus you. Communicating things that you need. Alright. Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I like that. Alright. Love is on the bottom of the deck. Ooh. Alright. We got the Magician, the Page of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. This is somebody where you hear me try where they're trying to control a sense of outcome, but they really don't know how. Communicating in a sense of being emotionally drained or needing some sort of assistance, not knowing how to, taking on much more than you should. You got Two of Wands reversed. You got Five of Swords upright. Three of Pentacles. The Eight of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, this just gives me like somebody needs some sort of a senses and they're taking on more than they should. Blows to the back, situations, communication matters, situations, people who rather take from you or being in a sense of authority. That's what it kind of gets me though. Indecisive of knowing what to walk away and what you should stay and fight for. The Lovers is reversed. It could be old things, situations in love. This could be you not operating your higher self of energy. Being very lower vibrational, not accountable, not honest, not being sensual, understanding of you. Trying to see what the next one about this fiery climax. There we go. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, wee. Somebody may be focused on money or excessive behaviors. You got the High Priestess reverse and the Nine of Pentacles in this position, or whatever the case may be, independently taking on more than you should right now. It could be situations that could be bringing you unwanted attention, or people could be highlighting certain areas and you not wanting to go there. In an extent of, like you hear me say, for it's getting some higher perception. You got Knight of Swords, you got the Wheel of Fortune reverse, you got Ten of Cups, and the Nine. Oh, yes. It's kind of like the harvest that you have been reaping, or you've been going through a certain amount of cycles, or whatever the case this moment. It's kind of like you're very undecided on what to go, where it's next. It's creating this position to where you kind of like resisting to a sense of happiness. Not for everybody or just for you. It could be in the home front though, independently searching for something. But it gives me like too much going on, taking too much, doing too much, all over the place at the same time, like non-committable. Be bold and make the first move. Let's see what this all about. Take it. No, I said this got something to do with leadership, a job, recuperating from something. Could be the home, relationships, happy, family. Seven of Swords. This is being sneaky. It's that grifter energy. Okay, so I said some of y'all may be operating Scorpio. You may got Scorpio in your chart. You got Scorpio energy in reverse, Five of Cups in reverse, and the Six of Swords. This is you like being tethered to old situations, things that possibly need to go in your life, or whatever the case may be. Terrible endings, holding on to certain things, making a stride to be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm done. I'm moving forward. I'm walking towards a sense of happiness. Not looking for that validation within the sense of others or the sense of support. Like, it gives me to where, like, it's kind of sneaky. Can I be honest? It's kind of like, it's sneaky. Like, Scorpio energy. Like, not being honest. That's what kind of gives me, like not being honest with self or with situations or people around you. Yeah, but that's why I said it's like the devil here. It's like something's keeping you tethered. It could be a bondage. It could be just thinking the hurt, the pain, trying to be in a sense of control, suppressing certain things, the urges of not honing into a sense of the darkness, not owning over a sense of parts of you. That's what it kind of gives me though. Believing the impossible. Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck. This could be you. This could be you guilt tripping yourself for situations or other people where you hear me say taking on too much responsibility or holding over certain things that need to be released in this moment. It's kind of like things that need to be released in a sense of enlightenment or awareness to be able to move. Because, wait a minute. I'm trying to scoop this up. Boom. Wait a minute. Alright. There we go. If you focus, I don't know if you, wait a minute. I'm trying to scoot it up for you to see. If you see, where you hear me say there's some sort of divinity, where you see somebody's praying, like they're going to a sense of a priest, a pope, a counselor, or someone seeking a sense of counsel to get some sort of understanding. Like it is a sense of bigness, forgiveness. It's kind of like with you or something that you may have done, or guilt in the sense of it's like looking for some sense of peace. That's what kind of gives me. All right, okay. Believe in the impossible. You got King of Swords. Bringing logic into a situation and understanding. Also, the removal of certain things. Because you got Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Strength. This could be somebody in your life that requires a whole lot of attention, or they could require financially from you, or fluctuating back and forward. It's kind of like when it comes to you, like being very indecisive of things that it is that you want, learning what strengthens you, learning what weakens you. It could be balancing the sense of the ego, like you hear me say, fluctuating back and forward for a sense of happiness. It could be money. It could be other things. It could be those behavior. It could be like mental outbursts. Or like you hear me say, for it's being around certain people, if you're into certain witchy type things. Don't know, but it's kind of like watching the energies that you may entertain in this type of moment. That's where you hear me say the King of Swords is coming in. You got King of Cups, Queen of Wands, Seven of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. This is here, like not being emotionally honest, jumping into the Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands energy. You hear me say she's not the most loving, communicative situations, communicative person about certain beings or whatever the case may be. It's more in the doommanship when it comes to certain sense of love. So if you're not receiving that, you could be out here doing a whole lot. Which is this Seven of Swords, lying to yourself or a situation to other people, and the King of Wands. This is where you hear me say about impulse decisions and not being grounded, being impulsive. It could be abuse or overly controlling, like those type of things. You hear me say, like being honest about these sense of things. That's what it kind of gives me though. I'm gonna come back to it because I ain't get that in anybody's. It's a time to give rather than take. Let's see what that's about. It's a new moon in Virgo, and then you are mutable signs. Six of Swords. It's kind of like it's shit. It's not wrong when you hear me say in this season for you to be able to share the light with someone else. Your light, your being. Three of Swords. That's why I said it's not wrong. Seven of Cups. Maybe burnt out. You hear me say all old things. Getting a sense of clarity. It could be drugs. It could be substances. Don't know. Needing some sense of uncloudedness or whatever the case may be. Something may be blocking you or you may not be paying attention to what is actually going on. It could be, you hear me say, like, say for instance, when I did smoke weed a lot, I used to put up with a lot of things because I was high. And I would say, oh, that's because I'm high. But then when I started smoking and I got sober, I started recognizing, or whatever the case may be, a lot of shit that I used to complain about with people was already there. It wasn't that like the substances abuse or just smoking or trying to find a way to suppress those feelings in those moments, like it was making it go away because it still was those sense of annoyances, and it was like, yeah, this is why this keeps happening because you need to address this. That's why I said that's there. Not address in a sense of a full throttle energy, because the King of Wands can be a little bit rough, especially in the communication part. So you got Ace of Swords, you got Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, you got Ace of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. This could have to do with something with money or a sense of leadership skills or providing or some sort of asset or whatever the case may be. Chasing money. Chasing money or the need for money or the need to go and not being in a sense of stability. That's what it kind of gives me though. And in order for you to be able to give, you have to recognize why are you giving in those moments, because this is the Queen of Swords. You hear me say she's being very understanding. This is the counsel that you may be seeking. I don't know if it's an air sign or you're looking for someone who's very logical, empathetic, and understanding, could be able to see that. But this is here where you hear me say that advice when it comes to communication or something you may need. But this here, if you don't know how to give, in a sense, you do not know how to receive. So if you do things for people out of obligation, you do not know how to receive when somebody's trying to give you something. Because if you're always in Nine of Pentacles energy, that means you're always focusing on, let me harvest, let me stack this, let me do this, me. It kind of makes you reject when you hear me say any emotional help or understanding or positivity or good feedback in any type of manner. That's where it puts us in the argumentative type of state. So we're gonna figure out what the hell is this. That Queen of Wands and the Seven of Swords and that King of Wands. It could be too though, like you hear me say, for as the masculine energy, like you see that in most cases. Like you hear me say, when I see the Queen of Wands up and the King, where I said it's in a reading before, that means you're operating in masculine energy. So that means you always just independent. You need to fix. Could be a little bit raunchy, not watching what you say, communicating, no sense of remorse. That's what it kind of gives me though. Thinking everything okay. And then you hear me say it's the latter for a male. To hear me say where he could be, you know how we say, what you on your male period, where he could be just explosive, argumentative, taking things out of context, doing this, not being honest, all over the place, hypercritical, Like all those things, like not caring about the explosive behavior, because instead of saying, hey, I need nurturing, I need attention, I need this, and the behavior problems with them being able to get grounded, it could go about in a sense of, well, you know I love you. Where the showmanship. Like, you see how I said that? I just seem so psychotic. So it's all about those type of behaviors. So let's see what this Queen and King of Wands is doing. Oh, the Tower. It's crossed by. It's kind of like maybe it's up, maybe it's down. Maybe it's up, maybe it's down. It's kind of iffy in those type of moments when it comes to communicating. It does give me, you know what I said? It does give me that though. Could be in the home, it could be in the work, it could be a tower type moment needing to let something go that's causing a sense of Nine of Swords energy that you need to release. It could be taking on a sense of control or worry or blame or victimizing. You hear me say, when it comes to certain people, when you see like the deconstructing process going on, it's not in the process of building, it's a time for renovating. You got Lovers in reverse. Still not accountable, still not loving, still not understanding. It gives me, yeah, devil. Every time I come around Geminis, I'm telling you, it's like it's every 3 months where you hear me say, count your triggers, be understanding, learning what love is, figure out what works for you in a sense of mind frame. I always get that though, finding out what you take on, the need to be strong, not being emotionally honest. And then if you're being emotionally honest, how you communicate. That's the biggest thing. So let me see, because I want to know. So we can... Oh, Queen of Pentacles twice. High Priestess. This is secretly... This is like... This is information being received or downloaded or perceived in that sense of moment. Communication, it could be things that you are watching, things that you are finding out. Honesty, like this is the release. So especially with this Queen of Pentacles, could be an Earth, kind of gives me Capricorn energy. And then you got King of Cups, that could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, those type of energy. But it is though. So we gonna see. We gonna see. But you got Tower type moment. You hear me say it came out cross. And you got the Nine of Swords. So it's kind of like this deconstructing process. The Four of Wands came out reverse. It's all about remaking, letting certain things go, remodel, all those different types of things. Re. Even though 4 is all about stability, even though we're in a number 2 with the 0 behind, we can be in an infinitive number. Break that down. 1 plus 1 equals what? 2. And 2 plus 0 equals 2. So sometimes they can create a sense of conflict to find out what's the overall need into a sense of participation. So you got Lovers, you got the Devil, and you got the Ace of Wands. You hear me say this is this energy here where you hear me say not being accountable for old sense of behaviors. You hear me say like this is the Ace of Wands, like knowing how to forgive and start over, to let loose of certain bondage controls of situations. Then you got the Fool, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Wands. This could be you. This could be you looking at certain situations that could be problematic, but not saying a lot. Just because of not wanting to deal with them because your hands full with other situations. This is the Knight and the Four of Wands. Like, even if it comes to the deconstructing process where you may need to cut out certain people, substances, situations, or who or what you entertain, this is what you're not trying to risk. You kind of like trying to keep a part of something while at the same time not wanting to lose it. You can't make your mind up. Then you got the Seven of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is here where you hear me say like that's this type of energy. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is I need. Queen of Pentacles, this is you in an instance where you hear me say when it comes to lovers or a sense of relationship or a sense of control, old contracts, old things that keep you bound and stuck and restricted. It could be money matters. It could be a parent. It could be how you be going about attention. You hear me say when I see this up as a parent or a mother, it's kind of like she's not feeling so lovey. This is where if you're dating someone or you're married to somebody, you're in a sense of relationship, this is when the most time, if you're male or female, you need to be communicating with a sense of a partner, because it's like you're not understanding of yourself self, so it could be that chaotic type energy. This could be the loss of a parent, or just being in tune with self. You hear me say understanding those sense of emotions. But this is where you see somebody doing anything in those moments, trying to get a sense of attention and having no remorse. No remorse. It really does. Let me see what else come out. Still back at the Seven of Swords energy. It could be, it give me like bait, or it could be, it give me like bait, or it just gives me this, like this mentally emotional facade. I don't know why it gives me that. It's kind of like old things. It's a sense of truth, setting things up, not giving just enough. That's what it kind of gives me though. Eight of Wands for the overall mood. This is like slowing down. Eight of Wands. You see that they're on a motorcycle. Motorcycles can go at full speed, but it's kind of like things possibly may have slowed down for you in this moment. I know the COVID is going on. You got Seven of Cups. This is the Three of Cups and the Page of Swords. This is like when it comes to certain communications, taking things out of context. This is gossipy. This is drama-like. This is not knowing what to say and how to say, not knowing what is it that you need in those type of moments. This is that I don't give a fuck, literally, type energy. Then you get to a sense of the Justice, Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Swords. This is where you hear me say not knowing how to communicate, still on the same things, like going through those same cycles, trying to bring up like peace, trying to be fair in a sense of horrible timing. That's what it kind of gives me though, like horrible timing. It really does, like horrible timing. I'm sorry. You got Temperance, Four Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. This is it, where you hear me talk about that crucifixion era, to where we talk about that Scorpio energy, to where we mourn certain parts of us when people just think, oh my God, thinking in a sense of death. This could be the shaming energy. This could be feeling outcast, ostracized, like out in the cold, not feeling like you're just in the space you need to, come into a sense of reality when it comes to a patience, like when it comes to you dealing with patience or peace that's internally. And you hear me say it's a time to give rather than take. And you hear me say when I see this Temperance card, I always say one hand washes the other. So if you're not cognitive in that moment by being a Gemini sign, which you know you have two sides, you have to wash both hands and not one. You can't sit up here and say, well, I want peace, and on the other hand you're still stirring a sense of chaos. So you have to understand that, okay, if I'm washing the other hand or I'm trying to bring about a sense of peace, I have to be understanding in a sense of my own truths. So in the month of July, I just want to say, Geminis, I think that's what you're going to be dealing with. Coming to a reality of situations and people and understanding with things. So we're going to do a recap. Communication is key. New moon is in Gemini. That's about things you're trying to bring in. But here, communicating is key. You hear me say about what you're taking on, how you taking on too much, and not being compromising about it. It could be saying, well, I did this and I did this and I did this, all for nothing, and then still feeling drained and completed. It could be watching who you talk to or who you communicate with, or certain people that like no, you could just be holding a lot in. Let me just say, you could be holding a lot in and needing to release it. But you hear me say, remember, one hand washes the other. A fiery climax is approaching. You fail to recognize that when stress comes in and this comes to something that's bothering you, it's going to find a way to get out. Remember that, because you got the High Priestess, the Nine of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the Nine of Swords reverse. This is here where you hear me say, like, dealing with stress or not knowing what to do. It could be certain behavior or antics that's bringing unwanted attention to you. You hear me say over time, not wanting to listen. It's the me, I got this. That type of energy where you hear me say, where it's putting you in a sense of trying to fix things. Then you got be bold, make the first move. This is cardinal sign energy where you hear me say not getting out of that hesitation energy. Wait a minute, my ear probably fell out.